ball. Ganguly on strike. It's expected that there's going to be a little bit of help there early for the seam bowlers.
Let's talk, boys, let's talk!
Ganguly at the non-striker's end. Ramesh on strike. The combination of the white ball that's being used here in England and the early start, 11:15 local time, and the early time of the season contributed to plenty of movement for the quick bowlers. India away though. Ramesh off the mark and Ganguly on strike.
Yes, the Indian openers will have to watch out for the movement early on. We've seen that happening in just about every match. And the white ball has been quite difficult to control for the new ball bowlers as well. But it does move prodigiously, so that's what they'll have to watch out for, Ganguly, Ramesh and the other Indian batsmen.
Away with one down to fine leg. Sourav Ganguly started the World Cup in wonderful form, 97 against South Africa at home, but has missed out in the other two games against Zimbabwe and Kenya, 9 and 13. Ramesh didn't play in that game against South Africa at home, but has played well since. 55 against Zimbabwe and 44 in the last game against Kenya. That's going to be 4. Super stroke from Ramesh, just flicked away off his toes for 4.
Well, he's a batsman who doesn't believe in wasting his time at the wicket. If the ball is there to be hit, he will hit it. And this is a terrific shot from Sadgopan Ramesh. He's very, very strong off his pads. Wasn't such a bad delivery actually, but that's where Ramesh's strength lies, in scoring of good deliveries as well.
Oh, gone. What a superb delivery from Chaminda Vaas. That swung, pitched off and hit the outside of the off stump, and there's no way you play those. Ramesh has gone. Early blow for Sri Lanka.
Well, a lot of experts have talked about the lack of footwork when Ramesh is batting, and you can see that there isn't any footwork at all. He hasn't covered for the swing. Beautiful outswinger from Chaminda Vaas, getting through his defense. He's out for 5 and India 6 for 1.
But he was looking to flick it.
Incoming batsman number 3 on the scoreboard, number 5 on the squad number, Rahul Dravid.
India 6 for 1. The new batsman coming in at number 3 is Rahul Dravid. He's there because Ramesh has been clean bowled by Chaminda Vaas. No footwork, Sonny.
Absolutely no footwork there, Paul. You could see that from the way his front foot was stuck. He made that initial movement and that just didn't take it forward. Here's a man whose footwork is splendid.
Well bowled, Chaminda Vaas. First over completed. Eventful one. India 6 for 1.
From the river end. Number 9 on the scoreboard. Number 13, the squad number, Eric Upashanta.
Eric Upashanta will open the bowling from the river end here at Taunton. Eventful first over. A little bit of swing, some good pace and seam movement from Chaminda Vaas. 4 through mid-wicket. Next ball, the off-stump knocked back to get rid of Ramesh. So, fine start for Sri Lanka. Saurav Ganguly on strike. He's on 1. Rahul Dravid at the non-striker's end. Just faced 1 ball, yet to get off the mark. 2 slips in. And here's Upashanta with his first ball. We've seen enough already, Sunil, to suggest that the technique of the opening batsman or the Indian batsman is going to be put to the test early on.
Yes, there is also a little bit of bounce which will encourage the quicker bowlers, and the movement has been there with the white ball. We've seen that right throughout this tournament. Chaminda Vaas is a very, very crafty bowler, underrated bowler.
Could be the first wide of the day, and is. Steve Dunn, the umpire from New Zealand.
Eric Upashanta, one of the newcomers to the Sri Lankan team, just made his international debut a couple of months ago. Might just get a little excited seeing the bounce and movement.
3 seam bowlers there for Sri Lanka: Vaas, Upashanta and Wickramasinghe. He'll come on first change. It's a good stroke. Mid-on is deep, but there's still time to get 2. Huge gap on the leg side between square leg and mid-on, and Dravid found it.
Well, this is good running by the Indians. One stage it looked as if they were not going to go for the second one, but they did. This is important in the context of this match, because Sri Lanka are good chasers. So the Indians really need to put a big score on the board if they're hoping to win this match and put some pressure on the Sri Lankans by putting a big score. And they need to take their 1s and convert the 1s into 2s and 2s into 3s.
Feeling for that outside the off stump, Ganguly, and admonishing himself. He knows that was a nothing sort of stroke.
Yes, this is the kind of shot which shows that the batsman's concentration is not quite there. Early overs, just the second over of the match, and that's the time when the batsmen are a bit more vulnerable.
See that ball dip as it got towards Kalawidana, the wicketkeeper. Swung and dipped at the very last moment. No ball. Do without those.
Certainly could, because there's been a wide as well, so the Sri Lankans will have to watch out that they don't do India a favour by bowling too many no balls and wides.
Yes, it's no time for a lack of discipline on the part of the bowlers when captains won the toss. It's a overcast morning. The sun's just starting to peep through, but a little bit of dampness, I think, below the surface of the pitch. Ideal bowling conditions this morning. Got to remain as disciplined as you can with the ball in your hand. And likewise when you're batting.
Keep going, Rex.
Concentration has to be at the very highest level.
Well, the Indians have to think in terms of batting through till the 50 overs. Actually, they would like Sachin Tendulkar to come, but both these batsmen at the crease must really set their stall to bat as long as possible. Eriko Prashanta has just got 1 wicket in the World Cup so far against Zimbabwe. He'll be looking to get some here today.
Well timed, but straight to Jayasuriya at square leg. The leg side's been reinforced. There's only one slip now, and a man at short mid-wicket. Sourav Ganguly very strong through that leg side area. The outside edge again. India 10 for 1. For 1 India after 2 overs, eventful couple of overs. Ramesh the man out, comprehensively bowled by Chaminda Vas for 5. Vas getting a bit of swing, a bit of movement off the seam. And here he is now beginning his second over. There's the swing, there's the appeal that accompanies it, going down the leg side. Umpire David Shepherd from England says not out, and he's quite right.
Rahul Dravid does shuffle across the stumps a little bit, but not too much. And yes, the ball would have gone down the leg side. There was a time when Rahul Dravid was shuffling quite a bit, taking a big step towards the off stump. This shuffle has just taken him towards leg and middle.
He's off the mark. He'll feel better for that. And there's going to be overthrows. So a gift of a second run. It's not good from Sri Lanka.
Well, Arvinda having a shy at the stumps when Rahul Dravid was well inside. Fielders are encouraged today to have a go at the stumps, but often it can result in overthrows.
Tell you what, this got all the makings of an intriguing first hour or so. Both Ganguly and Dravid looking to attack, the ball's moving around. Key period of the game, this first hour. And, the white ball is new. As I said, it's early in the day, and also early in the season over here in England. It's a good stroke. No ball. It's a good shot for none.
India would have certainly profited if Rahul Dravid had hit the ball between the fielders, because apart from the 1 run for the no ball, you get the run scored from it as well. He will be very confident, having got a very good 100 against Kenya the other day. Admittedly, the attack was not very testing, but it's always good to have a big score under your belt.
A big appeal, but I think that's hit the pad. Now, if it has hit the pad and nothing else, then I reckon Chaminda Vaas and co should be appealing for LBW here.
Well, this one's moved in quite sharply, and it's gone off the pads. Question is, where has it hit him now? At what height? You can see that it's hit him just a little above the knee, but his right leg is bent.
Got to be close to being LBW, that, Sunil. Not close enough for David Shepherd. It's all go here. Kalawatana's dropped the throw now. There's a fair amount of tension out there, as you'd expect, Sunil.
Yes, and fair amount of competitiveness as well, because both teams know that this is the crunch game. So you could expect maybe the odd word or two exchange, though Indians and Sri Lankan players are very friendly off the field.
So well left. 3 off the over, 13 for 1. Crackling atmosphere here at Taunton. Lively stuff on the field. The crowd very vocal in their support of both teams. And India 13 for 1 from 3 overs. It's Upashanta to resume. Ganguly on strike. That's a super stroke. Lovely shot. Just let the ball come to him. Flicked it away off his hip for 4.
He's such a good offside player that bowlers tend to bowl at his pads. And in fact, that has allowed Sourav Ganguly to strengthen his onside play as well. Getting right on top of his toes and hitting it past the square leg fielder. Arjuna Ranatunga had that square leg area covered by moving himself from second slip in the first over, the previous over. Now he's done that, but he's still conceded 4 to the Indians.
That's the place to bowl. Pitch the ball up, give it a chance to swing. And draw the batsman forward, draw him into the stroke. I don't think there's been enough of that type of bowling in this competition today, Sunil. I don't think the bowlers have pitched the ball up enough.
Yes, I think a lot of the bowlers have been thinking about the first 15 overs when the batsmen go over the top, and have therefore been just a little tentative about pitching the ball up. And one could understand that because in the subcontinent and in Sharjah, when the ball's pitched up, the batsmen do go over the top, trying to take advantage of the first 15 overs. But here in England, pitching the ball up, there is plenty of movement.
Yeah, it's a question of getting the balance right, isn't it? And I think it's taking a while for these international cricketers just to adjust to conditions here in England. pretty good, averaging over 40 and over 100 matches played. It's good all the way through, good against Sri Lanka as well, and in this World Cup. Bit of width on that. Only one though, it's gone very quickly down to third man.
Reaching for that one, it was wide, but Ganguly sees an opportunity on the offside because he's such a good player on the offside, very confident that even if it's a widest delivery angled across him, he'll be able to get to the pitch of it and score off it.
Rahul Dravid to face Prashanta for the first time. What a great stroke. Beautifully played off his toes for 4. 22 for 1. Two for 1 from 4 for India. Despite losing that wicket, they're going well. Delightful little ground here at Taunton. Sunil, you've obviously got fond memories of playing here. You played for Somerset in the English County Championship for a number of years. Always a good batting pitch down here as well.
Yes, it was always a good batting pitch, but I can't really recognize the ground because so much of upgrading has taken place. It's almost impossible to recognize this ground.
No ball. Signalled by umpire David Shepherd. .98 one-day international innings for Sourav Ganguly. 600s. Big scores over 50, 32 of them. Edged and short of second slip. That's the ideal line and good length from Chaminda Vaas.
Yes, every time he's pitched the ball up, he's looked like getting a wicket. He's got the batsman in trouble. Well, this is the ideal line around the off stump. I think the second slip fielder maybe just a little short, standing just a little bit deeper.
Better stride in there from Ganguly, getting well forward. You were mentioning, Sunil, the importance of foot movement. It's doubly important at this stage of the innings against the white ball, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's got to be precise. You see that when Rahul Dravid is batting. He's very precise in his movement, very sure. Ganguly also is very confident, but there is sometimes a touch of nervousness. Doesn't quite move his front foot to the pitch of the ball.
Urging himself to get forward to that.
He's tightened up his game considerably since he made his debut in 1996, playing very close to the body, Sourav Ganguly, with a straight bat as well. Likes to get onto the front foot. He's more a driver of the ball rather than a cutter and a puller.
Again, solid in defence.
Now the ball hitting the middle of the bat, even if it's not getting you runs, will increase the batsman's confidence. Sourav Ganguly edged a ball in this over, but then the last 2 or 3 deliveries he's played in the middle of the bat, so that'll make him feel a lot better.
It's nothing more than a back foot push, but it shot away through extra cover. Should have been 3. Poor running. It's 3 off the over, 25 for 1.
Live World Cup broadcasts only at Kaito Restaurant on Richmond Hill, Lefferts Boulevard.
We've got a change of bowling. Upshantar taken out of the attack after just 2 overs. And replaced by Pramodya Wickramasinghe. Very experienced Sri Lankan cricketer, 115 matches. And has done well in the World Cup. 245 against South Africa, 3 for 30 against Zimbabwe. Didn't take a wicket against England. Slight problem behind the bowler's arm. Rahul Dravid and Steve Dunn just having a chat about it. I think we've got a problem with either the sight screen or one of the advertising hoardings. Anyway, it's going to be sorted out. Might take a couple of minutes. I think it's over-enthusiastic photographers. There's a huge media representation here from India and Sri Lanka naturally, but from all over the world as well. So here's Wickramasinghe to Rahul Dravid. Oh, that's a loosener. That really is a stiff loosener, and it's got the treatment it deserved. Thrashed away through cover for 4.
When you have only 10 overs to bowl, you can't afford to bowl looseners, not in a limited overs game. Every ball important. Every dot ball adding to the pressure, but this one had "hit me" written all over it as soon as it was delivered. Rahul Dravid obliges.
I wonder if Wickramasinghe is properly loose. He may not have expected to get the call this early in the innings. It's no excuse though. He should be ready at all times. Overcompensated, full on leg stump, and beautifully picked off again. 4 more.
That is not only a very, very pretty stroke to see, but that sound, like sweet music, makes a lovely sound when the ball hits the middle of Rahul Dravid's bat.
Found the fielder this time, but the execution of the shot was quite superb. Beautiful on drive, straight at mid-on. His last 3 scoring strokes have all been boundaries. Dravid making a wonderful start to this innings. Beautifully played, but Wickramasinghe's making it easy.
Still, that's not a shot that one can play with ease. It takes a great deal of skill to be able to play that shot. He's been playing that very well in this tournament. That's another boundary.
Yeah, 1 long hop outside off stump, 2 leg stump half volleys, and the quality of stroke has been marvellous from Rahul Dravid. It's better, but it's good running. That's top quality one-day cricket. A real sense of purpose about the Indian batsman this morning.
Yes, this is excellent running between the wickets. Just tapping the ball with soft hands, seeing that the fielder at mid-on is deep, and the bowler will have to change from running towards the offside and his follow-through to come to the onside. That's very good thinking by the Indians.
Ganguly on the act now. Now this will keep the fielder interested. Not a good start from Wickramasinghe. 15 from his first over. India 40 for 1. India 40 for 1 from 6 overs. It's all happening here at Taunton. We've got a change in the commentary box. A warm welcome to former Sri Lankan coach Dav Watmore, who's with Martin Crowe.
Thanks, Paul, and good morning, everyone, all around the world. Outstanding start. India 40 for 1. That might be a wide. Dave Shepherd, very experienced umpire, no hesitation there at all. Bit of pressure now on Vas, now that Wickramasinghe has been planted to all parts in his first over. Vas, of course, picking up the wicket of Ramesh in the first over with a terrific delivery. It's a great pleasure to have alongside me the reigning World Cup champion coach. Morning, Dave.
Good morning, Martin, and good morning to everyone. What a great day, and the atmosphere is fantastic.
Yes, strap into your seats, folks, because I'd imagine that this day, the way it started, it's going to be some turbulence along the way. Wonderful atmosphere all around the ground. There's plenty of Indian and Sri Lankan supporters, as well as the die-hard Somerset supporters who love their cricket. And it makes for a wonderful occasion here, a do-or-die match.
Yes, Martin, it makes it difficult, as you said, for Chaminda Vas to bowl tightly, because usually you go in pairs, and if one bowler is not doing the business at the other end, then it generally flows onto the other. And conversely, when one bowler is doing really well, the other one tends to do well as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how Chaminda Vas responds to the previous over, where there was 15 runs taken off it.
Away to the fence for 4. And Dave Shepherd signals it's come from the bat. So more boundaries now for Rahul Dravid. His 5th, in fact, of just 17 deliveries. A man on fire. What an occasion to do it.
Luck not going Sri Lanka's way. Just an inch or two from Kalawithar in his gloves, and it could have been nicely settled into his left hand, but not to be. And Dravid goes on. Geez, he's played some wonderful shots today.
He's had the pleasure of witnessing Dravid in peak form in New Zealand over the Christmas period. Great technique. He really does have terrific footwork. He gets off onto the back foot when the ball's dropped short. He gets forward when it's full. And in my opinion, probably one of the most technical batsmen in the world.
Yes, from what I've seen so far, Martin, he's particularly severe on balls off his pads. Very, very good. His backlift almost comes from like a third slip area, which indicates that he prefers the ball because the bat's going towards that leg side. And anything on his pads, I think he's going to be, you know, he's going to deal with very easily.
Let's tuck this away, pick up a couple. Indication there is Dave Whitmore's described the ability to work the ball off the pads. Sri Lankans will be very much aware of that strength because they possess it themselves. Aravinda de Silva, also one of the greats in that particular area. So India approaching the 50 mark in just the 7th over. It's been a good pitch. Good to see the batsmen striking out in the early overs. It's been a difficult World Cup to really savour in terms of boundaries struck. But this morning it's been a real treat. And again, one of the best shots down the ground. 11 off the over. It's 51 for 1. 51 for 1 in just 7 overs. That's a run rate of 7.28, and it's been mainly down to Rahul Dravid. 20 balls. He's already struck 6 boundaries. Ganguly at the other end has looked pretty solid. Played and missed early on a couple of times to Upashantha, but he's been taken out of the attack. 2 overs for 13, and Wickramasinghe, in just his first over, has conceded 15. So pressure on one of Sri Lankan's most experienced men. Slipping the gully in. Ganguly does well to rotate the strike with Dravid in such menacing form.
He's done the right thing giving the strike to Rahul Dravid, because he's the guy in form, and anything loose, either short and wide or over pitched, Dravid seems to deal with extremely well.
Probably a better length for Wickramasinghe, just short of a driving length, but noticing Dravid still looking to get forward at every opportunity. It's a good pitch. It's got a whitish look about it.
Yeah, I think the name in the game now, Martin, is, is containment. You try to get a wicket or two in the first few overs. That doesn't work. You've got a fellow like Dravid going at one end. Really important now to watch your length and your direction of the ball to make it difficult for the batsman.
Nice, lovely bit of batsmanship there. That ball actually moved off the seam. So Dravid has got such a keen eye. He adjusted and knocked it into the gully. Yes, you're right about containing, although if you can remove this man, it will slow it up just for an over or two, because then Tendulkar will come in.
Well, that's right. The best way to contain every now and again is to get a wicket, but it doesn't always happen that way.
only get one for it, but it's beautifully played.
Great foot movement. You know, the fact that he's taken a big step down the wicket to a medium-fast bowler indicates that he's in a bit of form now. He's seeing the ball early, and look at that. Just easing it down past the gully line for a single.
Must have been a huge boost for the Indians to have Sachin Tendulkar come back and play so well at Bristol, particularly for the likes of Dravid. And Ganguly as well, because without Tendulkar, a lot of pressure goes on those two. They've been feeling, I suppose, the pressure right from the word go in this World Cup. But they'll know now that the spotlight is on the master. And they then can go about their business in their own quiet way. Not that Dravid's been quiet for a second. He's there on 30, Ganguly is 13. Well run. 3 from the over. 54 for 1. Overs gone, 54 for 1. That's a run rate of just under 7. Taunton ground here in Somerset is quite spectacular. At the end, both of them stand in the distance.
It's unusual, isn't it, to see a run rate of just under 7 and over in this competition. We've seen many occasions where teams who are batting first generally struggle to keep their wickets intact.
Well, long overdue, Dav, in my opinion. It's been a struggle, I've got to say, watching a lot of these games. I enjoyed the Headingley match, Pakistan-Australia. It was almost like a semi-final, that game. But a lot of the games have really just not got out of first gear, only because the bowlers have dominated in the first few overs.
I might add too, Martin, that these two sides know each other extremely well. They've played against each other so often, you know, in recent history. So each of the individuals from either side know their opposition plays extremely well.
In fact, these two have played against each other 59 times. This is the 60th match. You wouldn't have a more important one as well. India have won 32 and Sri Lanka 22. 5 no results. But it's a bit like a semi-final, this one, because whoever loses may as well pack their bags.
It's a crucial game for both sides.
Great technique. Just stood tall, punched it straight. It's not a big straight boundary here at Taunton, and Ganguly now picks up his second boundary and easily his best.
Oh yes, I think his back foot play has just been exemplary today. Ganguly, to me, looks like he's much more comfortable on the back foot, and he's played that particular shot so well.
Absolutely brilliant. That's the 50 partnership up between these two now. 52 from 49 balls. Ganguly 18. 8 fours in that partnership. Magnificent stuff. Keller with the runner did well. Just the one leg by. This last important match these two sides played in terms of absolute importance was, of course, in the semi-final of the World Cup in '96. Dav, you were there?
We were there, that's for sure. What a great victory that was for Sri Lanka. In front of a crowd of about 100,000 at Eden Gardens. And
that was inside the ground. Glorious shot. Magnificent in everything about that stroke.
a game. Look how well he lowers his body. The foot movement, the transference of weight. He's in perfect position, and he just hits through the line of the ball. That's one of the shots of the day, that one.
It's got you out of your seat, Dev. Magnificent. 7th boundary now to Dravid. And the bleeding continues. Thirteen from Bass is over, and India racing up to 67 for 1.
In the other World Cup match, he's going for Nara here, Kenya, 26 overs on 95 for 4. The Somerset supporters, Somerset won the top of the overall packet, 21 for 1.
Somerset has come alive with this absolutely brilliant exhibition by Ganguly and in particular Dravid. 38 now of 25. 11 boundaries and just 9 overs. There's the Indian supporters. Well, Dev, got to ask the question, how does Sri Lanka now stop the bleeding?
Very difficult, very difficult when you got two batsmen going the way they are. I think they could do with some sort of change.
And again, this time Ganguly, a little bit of width. Timing absolutely to perfection.
Too often the Sri Lankan team look to their main spinner to stem sort of the flow of runs. It may happen again in this particular game, but I also think that this wicket is probably a 250, 260 wicket, and I wouldn't be too worried about, you know, the opposition getting, you know, 250 runs. But I tell you what, they'd rather pick up a wicket now than later.
The news for you, Dev, that if they work on the current rate, they're going to score 387.
But then after 15 overs, they can put the fieldsman back, and they can perhaps stop the runs that way.
If they work on 6 runs per over from here, it's 316. That's the projected scores. At the moment, it could be anything between anything.
Well, it could too. I mean, it's not often we see sides were getting 380 runs, particularly in England at the end of May. But certainly the situation is quite serious at the moment, and anything that they can do to pick up a wicket, I'm sure that they'll try.
No change in the field by Ranatunga. It's really where the captain has to show his mettle and announce to his team, Sri Lanka in this case, that things got to change. And the best thing to do in this situation is to make some changes yourself in the field. Perhaps the gully could go into a short cover. Let's try and get the batsman to refocus. A bit of relief. There's colour with the Rana. He's certainly giving some encouragement to Wickramasinghe.
That's what he's got to do, doesn't he? He's just got to keep bowling that same delivery as often as he possibly can, because you can see the one before that was a similar type, but Ganguly just leant on it and it flew to point. So he's picked up the length, he's picked up the pace of the wicket and the bounce.
Very noticeable looking around the Sri Lankans at the moment. Ranatunga and Mahanama on the slips with their hands in their pockets. There's 1 or 2 others in the covers, just sort of looking down, hands on hips. Body language has changed very quickly since Ramesh was dismissed. In a do-or-die situation, despite the fact you've lost, say, the first 10 overs, there's still 90 overs to go. Good finish by Wickramasinghe. Just the 4 off it, the first ball. 71 for 1 after 10.
Number 9 on the scoreboard.
46 runs in the last 5 overs. It's been India absolutely in top gear. Shantha is now going to switch from the river end, and now we'll move to replace Chaminda Vaas from the old pavilion end. 2 overs, none for 13. He didn't quite get it right. He's a little bit guilty of bowling onto the pads of Ganguly to start with. But, what do we know about this man, Dav?
Eric's been around the Sri Lankan squad for a little while, but only made his debut just a few months ago. He's a bustling type medium pace quick bowler who tries to hit the seam, and you know, he's a tall boy, he's quite a strong guy, and if he's able to you know, to maintain the accuracy, I think he could be a bit of a handful, but very raw, very inexperienced, and he needs to learn quickly. If he's able to repeat that sort of delivery where it's landed in the right length, roughly in the right direction, it causes a few doubts in the batsman's minds.
Travid now 39 off 27 deliveries. Actually noticed Eric Gupashantha bowling in the opening game at Lord's, Dav, and I thought he was put under the gun a bit by his captain. He was bowling to a 7-2 field, which for an inexperienced man gives you a very clear message that you have to bowl outside off stump. Well, he did. He bowled 5 wides. It almost went off the strip outside of the off stump. I thought it was a bit tough for him to deal with that sort of field. He was then dropped for the next match and brought back against Worcester, where he did a pretty good job.
Well played again by Ganguly, but yes, you're right. I mean, it's very tough for a youngster to, you know, to come in big matches, and when you're asked to bowl, you know, predominantly to one side of the wicket with little protection on the other, makes it extremely difficult. We know that batsmen get nervous when they bat. That's well documented, but bowlers also get pretty nervous, and if they don't land it in the first few balls in their spell, it takes a big effort for them to come back and redirect, refocus on what they have to do.
Not his best, Rahul Dravid. In the perfect world, he would have struck that just down the onside of the pitch for 4. Just dragged the bottom hand through it. He's quite outstanding also in the test record. Rahul Dravid averages 53. Arjuna Ranatunga.
Very shrewd man, this fellow. A very good captain who's a deep thinker. To me, his temperament is the key. He never looks rushed, particularly in his batting, where often he has to come in when the team's done pretty badly at the top order. He always gives a calming influence with whoever he's batting with. I think that's one of his great pluses.
So I remember playing against Arjuna Ranatunga first time back in 1983, and he was just a 20-year-old then. Yes, his opposite, Muhammad Azharuddin, also a terrific temperament in the leadership role. Ranatunga's seems quite quiet and calm, but he's very competitive.
Oh, he's very strong in his mind, Martin, very strong, and there's not a lot what other people can say and do to change his thinking.
shot. They're coming in a rush for India. 12th, 13th boundary of the morning. 78 for 1. India's run rate is over 7. Look at the heartbeat here. It should really be in red. It's that hot. Got off to a good start on the first over, getting 6 off the over. Then the loss of Ramesh. And while Ganguly and Dravid were just taking guard for an over or two, things were quiet. Since then, it's been an absolute carnage. Sachin Tendulkar due in next, Azharuddin Jadeja. That's 3 top one-day players in the world, if ever you've seen them. So it's a star-studded Indian lineup. So when do you expect Muralitharan to come into the attack?
I think he'll come in just before the 15th over mark. We've had 3 medium pacers now who, you know, haven't really got the breakthrough as they were hoping. What they need to do really is to, you know, to bowl as tight as they possibly can until we get close to the 15 over mark, and I think you'll see the off spinner come on and make it difficult for the batsman.
Moral victory there for Wickramasinghe. Just noticed Dravid in the last over or so, perhaps just trying to strike the ball too hard. It can happen too when you get off to a flyer.
Yeah, I just thought the last sort of over and a bit of Wickramasinghe starting to get his rhythm and his direction a little bit better. He's bowling more to his field now. He's got 6 on the offside to the left-hander and 6 on the offside to the right-hander. So it's, you know, it's not easy changing from left to right, but he seems to be doing that reasonably well at this stage.
Junaranatunga has actually taken himself now out of the gully. He's in a short cover. Yeah, that's the beauty of this partnership. Left hand, right hand. They play all around the wicket, both Ganguly and Dravid. They play off both feet. They're complete players in many ways, and they have records to back it up.
Yeah, I just think the margin for error on this wicket is very small. It looks to me like a very good batting wicket, and if you bowl a bit short, they're on the back foot hitting it through the field. They pitch up, they drive through it.
But on quite deep, as you'd expect. And that's the opportunity for the good balls to be struck for a single. Sourav Ganguly 600s, averaging 40.76 in the one-day game. And Rahul Dravid averages 36. So that's a pretty impressive record coming into this World Cup. Partnership was 74 in just 55 minutes. $81 for 1. packed crowd here in Taunton. This vital clash between Sri Lanka and India. 81 for 1 into the 13th over. Changing the commentary, John Embry is alongside Paul Allen.
Thanks, Martin. Sri Lanka, the current world champions, looking anything but at the moment. India 81 for 1 and just started the 13th over. Sourav Ganguly's 28, Rahul Dravid 42 from 33 balls. Gracing this picturesque Taunton ground with some wonderful strokes. The Indian pair, great support. Plenty of Indian supporters here, plenty of Sri Lankans for that matter. They're pretty quiet at the moment. It's going to be 4 more, and that, John, has been symptomatic of the way the Sri Lankans have bowled this morning.
I'm afraid it's probably one of the best pitches we've come across in the World Cup, and Sri Lanka put India into bat, but this ball just a little bit of width, and Dravid onto that, really poised, continuing his form that he showed at the weekend at Bristol against Kenya, and he batted extremely well there, got overshadowed a little bit by Tendulkar, the plaudits that Tendulkar received, but Dravid at the moment is in prime form.
No run there. Yeah, Rahul Dravid made 104 not out against Kenya off just 111 balls. I mean, that in itself was a marvellous innings, but as you say, it was completely overshadowed by Sachin Tendulkar's 140 from just 101 balls. And if the Sri Lankans think that it's difficult now, they've got Tendulkar to come in next. Lost it completely there. Upashanta, one of the biggest wides we've seen in the tournament.
And Sourav Ganguly just telling his partner to calm down. They got off to a good start. And they're in a very good position to post a big score here, and the Sri Lankan captain Ranatunga under a lot of pressure, having to juggle his bowlers around. It may be that he has to call upon Muralitharan a little bit earlier to try and slow things down.
Half volley, it's well fielded. Murali at mid-off.
Upashanta just slightly over pitching. Good shot by Dravid and good fielding by Muralitharan at mid-off. I think very soon to be introduced into the attack.
I think you're right, John. Muralitharan has got to come in to the attack fairly soon, if only just to take the pace off the ball and make the batsmen think about how they're going to accumulate runs. There's plenty of pace on the ball at the moment. The ball's coming on at reasonable height. There's not an awful lot of bounce in this pitch. With the seamers bowling, everything's just nice for Ganguly and Dravid, and they're cashing in. Six off the over, relatively quiet. 87 for 1.
This part of the broadcast is sponsored by Air Jamaica, the most non-stop champagne flights on the youngest fleet in the Caribbean.
87 for 1. Well, thinking about that, Steve Barney was half turning towards the scorers, but I think he's had a little bit of sympathy there for Wickramasinghe.
Yeah, I think quite a lot of matches that would have been given a wide, but bowler getting the benefit of the doubt on this occasion. Very difficult conditions, very good pitch. And we talk when we're playing cricket about not having a length to bowl. In first-class cricket and in Test cricket, and this is one of those pitches where it's very difficult for the quicker bowlers to get a length that's going to contain the Indian batsman. If they're slightly short of a length, the Indian batsman on the back foot. If they're slightly over pitch and the batsman are hitting through the line of the ball. And what you need to do is to bowl length, and you've got to be very disciplined, bowl length and line, and attack the off stump.
Yeah, and I also think, John, that the Indian batsmen are on a bit of a roll now. Their confidence is high. They've played attacking strokes really from the word go. Like that. And they only get 2 there. Rahul Dravid takes him to 49. But once you've started playing strokes like that and your confidence is high and you realise that there's nothing in the pitch really for the bowlers, then it makes it very, very difficult for bowlers to actually tie a batsman down. He's got a problem with his bat. It seems to be going all right to me.
It just looks as though he's looking for a bit of tape from the umpire, just to maybe a little bit of tape fraying on the edge of the bat. Just getting a pair of scissors to cut it off.
Shepherd doing the bat repairs. Yeah, you're right, John. It's quite a big bit of tape that he's having taken off.
Many bats now, the batsmen prefer to get this fiberglass tape put on their bats just for added protection. First-class cricketers, Test cricketers, when they do get a good bat, they like to protect it, protect the face of the bat.
They're also pretty fussy batsmen, aren't they, about the state of the bat. That tape will just have started to peel off, and it'll be just unsettling Rahul Dravid a little bit. I doubt that a little bit of flapping tape would have impeded the performance of the bat in any way. But he might just have wanted everything neat and tidy.
I think there have been 1 or 2 occasions when when bats have had a little bit of flapping tape. It does make a little bit of noise, and you know, if you go wide at a ball and you flash at a shot and it's very close back, you may not have nicked it, but that little bit of tape might just click or something, and the appeal goes up. The umpire thinks he's heard something, can give you out.
All full bore attack here, looking for big shots virtually every ball, Rahul Dravid. And he wants 1 for 50. Well fielded by Chaminda Vaas, attacked the ball. 2 off the over. Good one for Sri Lanka, 89 for 1.
We've just a small respite here at Taunton as the players take their first drinks break of the day. The crowd is relatively calm. The weather's pretty calm as well. The only thing that hasn't been calm all morning is the Indian batting. It's been explosive. 89 for 1 from 14 overs. Saurav Ganguly 28 from 41. And Rahul Dravid 49 from 42 balls. India rattling along at very nearly 6.5 runs and over. And the Sri Lankans having to fight hard just to contain. Upashanta's the bowler. Ganguly on strike. Here we go again. Just a sign that Sri Lanka's pegging back a bit. The last over from Wickramasinghe just went for 2. Whilst there's not an awful lot of assistance in this pitch, the ball has swung this morning. I just think there's been too much margin for error from the Sri Lankan bowlers. If anything, they've tended to bowl too full, John, which is strange because really not many bowlers have done that through this tournament yet.
No, I was just going to say a lot of the bowlers have bowled back of a length, and I think that's one of the reasons why they've had so many wides and etc. is they bowled back of length, and it's either seemed that it's swung a little bit and the ball's done a little bit more. On this occasion, I think Sri Lanka have done the right thing in pitching the ball up, but they haven't quite got the assistance of the wicket today to help them.
Great way to go to your half-century. What a splendid innings this has been. And there's plenty more to come from Rahul Dravid. He's 53 now.
That's a very impressive innings by Rahul Dravid. All the shots he's played. And that's his 10th 4 in that 53. And all the shots he's played have been beautifully timed. Excellent footwork. And signs the master batsman at work.
That's a good decision not to run for that. Not to bother too much with picking up the singles. Plenty of boundaries.
Muralitharan, he'll be wondering when he's going to come on. Very soon by the looks of it. He's warming up.
I would think as soon as the 15th over is bowled, he'll be on. The fielding restrictions go out of the window to a degree. At least you don't have to have 2 men catching. Still have to have 4 inside the 30-yard circle. Lucky to get away with that. Upashanta, short and wide.
Upashanta, inexperienced of the, one of the least experienced of the Sri Lankan bowlers. Very much a learning curve for him. And Arjuna Ranatunga will be looking for good things in the future from him.
Five off the over, 94 for 1.
Rahul Dravid 50 came on 43 balls, 10-4.
Forecast is for the day to stay dry. Cloud dispersing through the day and a brighter afternoon.
We've had 15 overs here at Taunton. India have scampered along to 94 for 1. And as we thought, the field scatters now. And we see the introduction of Matteo Muralitharan, who will bowl his off breaks from the river end. He'll bowl round the wicket to Sourav Ganguly. Pretty good record that for Murali. Very interesting field he bowls to when he's bowling to left-handers. There's 3 men out on the leg side boundary, 1 man in the circle, and he's at short fine leg. Consequently, anything in front of the wicket on the leg side will bring runs.
Dravid not quite timing that ball properly, but got it away, got a single. Murali, I enjoy being an off spinner myself. I enjoy watching Murali bowl. There's just something special about him. There's always something happening. He gets tremendous amount of spin on the ball, and first came across him in the 1992-93 tour of India and Sri Lanka with England, and played on a very flat wicket in Colombo. Philip Tuffin myself didn't get much turn, but Murali turned the ball square, and it was 2 different games of cricket that were going on, and I think he's a lovely bowler to watch, and a lot of the criticism that he gets, not justified.
No, well, I mean, you're quite right, John. It isn't difficult to justify it when the guy has played as many games as he's played, over 100 one-day internationals. He's taken over 200 test match wickets. And he's had this spectre hanging over him for far too long, really.
And that's the ball when he throws the ball up higher and wider, a lot more loop, gets a lot of spin, makes it very difficult for the batsman to come down the wicket. They're looking to hit through the offside. Murali's trying to get that bat to turn between bat pad, give him an opportunity to bowl the batsman.
Have to hurry here. It's good backing up from Muralitharan. Jayasuriya, the fielder. Oh, Dravid really had to scamper.
Murali's got one of the best economy rates in the World Cup so far. I think not quite going for 3 and over. Going to be a good contest between him and these 2 batsmen. And at the end of the over, India 96 for 1.
In the other World Cup matches, they say, on 2 days, Kenya are 107 for 7 in the 32nd over.
Four bowlers used by Sri Lanka so far. The 3 seamers have been a trifle expensive. Bar Supashantha and Wickramasinghe. 1 over from Muralitharan for just 2 runs, pegging India back at 96 for 1 from 16 overs. If they keep going at this rate, they'll make 300, exactly 6 and over. It'll be worth watching, I can tell you. Well, there's a man out on the fence, and he can only just get a boot on it. It was hit with so much power. Big boundary. That's best part of 90 metres out there. Joe Wardener, the fielder. 2 more to Dravid.
It's a beautiful shot by Dravid, getting over the top of the ball, rolling his wrists. Not of his weight going forward. Normally when you cut the ball, get ball short and a bit of width, you're off the back foot. But on that occasion, he's looking to get forward to the bowler, but beautiful timing once again.
Arjuna Ranatunga still at slip. Now that's an interesting fielding position at this stage. 98 for 1 in the 17th over. especially when you're bowling short and wide like that. That's poor bowling.
And I think Paul, India in the last match, the first time they'd scored over 300 in a World Cup match, and with the start they've got today, 99 for 1 off of, in the 17th over, they're well on course to do that again and perhaps go on and get a few more.
Well, Arjuna Ranatunga has trotted up from slip to have a chat with the bowler. I don't think he'll be going back to slip. In fact, I'm pretty sure he is, but he's going to mid-wicket. So no slip now. Still 5 in the circle though. 3 on the offside, 2 on the leg.
Yeah, it's times like this, Paul, when things not quite going well for you. You've put the opposition in, they've got off to a good start, smashing the ball around. And this is the time now that the captain is relied upon. His experience, vast knowledge of the game, comes in, talks to the bowlers, helps and encourages them, doesn't admonish them. There's not much they can do now. He's got to get behind his bowlers, give them support, and that's what he's been doing, and given encouragement.
Good running. Hundreds up for Sri Lanka in the 17th over. It's been spectacular stuff from Sourav Ganguly and Rahul Dravid. Edged fine, but only 1 down to third man. Very short ground behind the stumps here at Taunton. Very wide ground, but the straight boundaries are not particularly big.
Yeah, I think probably one of the few occasions that we've actually seen a full straight from Dravid, front foot, ball wide and flashing the bat out at it, top edge, going down the third man for a single.
Six off the over. So just what India want. 102 for 1. Still, that man Tendulkar to come, due to come in next. Proceedings dominated by Ganguly and Dravid at the moment. Muralitharan begins his second over. We're talking about captaincy in the last over, John, and how Arjuna Ranatunga will be bringing as many changes as he possibly can in the field, encouraging his bowlers. He's seen his 3 mainline seamers dispatched to all parts. I would imagine with the advent of Muralitharan, who's just put the damper on it for momentarily, that we'll be looking to get another spinner into the attack fairly soon.
Yes, well, he's got the option of Jayasuriya, left arm spin. He can use Aravinda de Silva, who's underrated off spinner. Changes his pace very well, and on wickets with not much bounce, very, very difficult to get away, as is Jayasuriya.
Still very much alive in the field, the Sri Lankans. Kalu Watana there scampering round from behind the stumps to field that mid-wicket. There's no way they'll give up their World Cup crown lightly, that is for sure. Beaten the diving Muralitharan.
Of course, for England have a great interest in the result of this match. They've won 3 matches in their group, but this is a match to the death. Whichever team loses today goes virtually out of the tournament. Obviously, England would like Sri Lanka to go through, because having beaten them in the first game of the tournament means that England qualify and Sri Lanka qualify. England take through those 2 points. And at this stage, India 103 for 1.
Change of bowling, number 6 on the scoreboard, number 4, the Sri Lanka squad, Mahela Jayawardena.
Well, we've got another change of bowling. Mahela Jayawardena will come on and bowl his medium pace. It is only just medium pace as well. He may even have a go at bowling some form of off break. We'll find out very shortly.
Well, boy, he's got a huge average, 250 odd. He's taken 1 wicket, so he's not an attacking bowler, so one can only hope that he's a defensive bowler.
He's bowling that sort of variety of medium, slow, loopy things. Sourav Ganguly just checking his guard. They're easy runs to pick up here. The point about this is that the Indians can pick up a run of ball fairly comfortably off a bowler like Jayawardena. And at this stage, with this start, picking up easy runs like that just sets up the middle part of this innings. And they'll already have their sights on 300. The Indians, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things at this stage with the partnership development is you need wickets. The one way to slow down a run rate. That's a beautiful shot by Dravid again. Just a single on this occasion. But one of the easiest ways to slow down any run rate is to take wickets, and by bringing on bowlers like Jayawardena at this stage, in my opinion, is serving no purpose, because all it's doing is India just easing the ball around for singles. They're under no pressure. The score is just gradually ticking over. They've got wickets in hand, lots of overs left.
Yeah, the Indians will be mindful that they played very well against South Africa in the first game at Hove and ended up, they considered, 20, 30, 40 runs short. Didn't lose wickets. They batted really well up the order, but couldn't accelerate.
Just Jayawardena has actually bowled quite a good over here. The lack of pace, ball not quite coming onto the bat, and the batsman having to feel for it, having to come at the ball rather than letting the ball come to them.
Single off the last ball of the over brings up the 100 partnership between Ganguly and Dravid, and India 106 for 1.
106 for 1. 100 partnership between Ganguly and Dravid. New partnership in the commentary box between Dav Watmore and Sonny Gavaskar.
Thank you, Paul. Yes, it's a good partnership that Ganguly and Dravid have put together after losing Sadgopan Ramesh in the first over of the match. They've batted very, very positively. Haven't missed out on the opportunity to hit the bad ball for runs. They've also scored off good deliveries. The advent of Muralidharan has put some brakes on the Indian scoring. Last 10 scoring shots have been singles, and perhaps Muralidharan should have been brought in earlier, Dav, when Ganguly and Dravid were going so well.
Yes, Muralidharan is central to the Sri Lankan attack, and whenever he's on, there's always a potential to pick up a wicket. And you can see the Indian batsmen who set the scene, really, this morning, in a terrific partnership of over 100. Doing a great job for their team. It's always difficult to hit Murali, though, I feel, because there's just so much revs on the ball. By the time it reaches 22 yards up the other end to the batsman, it's still spinning a long way. And, you know, at best, I think you can place it. Very rarely gets a bad ball.
Yes, it's very, very deceptive. Rahul Dravid not being able to score off the previous couple of deliveries, looking to go for the quick single. Well, that's what Muralidharan does, because you actually feel that you're going to get to the pitch of the ball, but his ball just dips in. There, Rahul Dravid thought he was to the pitch, but it dipped in. Wonderful over that. 109 for 1 after 20 overs. That's the run rate. You can see it's dipped just a little bit after Muralidharan's come into bowl. He's really climbing. Lovely shot. He is so good on the offside, Sourav Ganguly. Effortlessly done.
Just a beautiful cover drive there. You just cannot afford to give this guy any whiff at all. And the way in which this wicket is playing, he really makes you pay.
So Jayawardena's pace might just be the ideal pace for Ganguly. Just a little too anxious to put that half volley away. Disappointed that he wasn't able to score off it. This young man is a good cricketer, Dav.
As we see a single to mid-on, short mid-on. Yes, Mahela Jayawardena is thought of as a very promising young cricketer in Sri Lanka. He's mainly a batsman, of course, but you know, he's got sort of skills in a little bit of off-break bowling, and what we're seeing now, short, sort of slow, medium pace as well. But he's come onto the international scene and stamped himself as a youngster that I think can go a reasonable distance in the game.
And the Indians picking runs quite comfortably. They've already had a boundary in this over.
There just seems to be so many gaps now in the field, isn't it? That there's no problem about the Indian batsman thinking where my next run's coming from. If it is a good ball, they can pat it back because they know there's one coming not far away.
Well, this is very good running between the wickets by the Indians. I think Arjuna Ranatunga will certainly have to do something special to stop the Indians from running away with this game.
So one of the things that impressed me also is not just the ability to hit the ball for four, but also they haven't forgotten about the singles as well. They've been running very aggressively, as we see yet again. 9 off the over, and India 118 for 1. A small break in play here. Ganguly has some problems with some protective equipment.
There are enough left-handers in the team, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. Robin Singh, Sadgopan Ramesh, the thigh pads can be picked up from any of those. Amay Kurasia, who's out there, he's a left-hander as well. So plenty of left-handers, otherwise there would have been a problem if he was the only left-hander to get the thigh pad right.
You may have had to bat without one. That's a terrible shame if they happen to get hit in a spot where there's no protection. Mind you, I've played, I'm sure you've been hit in areas where you have protection, but always sometimes seem to miss the protected thigh and thutter into a piece of skin that really hurts.
More than the thigh, I think Ganguly will be a little bit worried because he's been hit in certain areas twice so far in the tournament. So it's been a pretty painful World Cup for him so far.
But as long as you're winning, I guess you can put up with all that pain. And India are doing it extremely well here this morning, with Dravid and Ganguly figuring in a very good partnership, well over 100 now. In fact, 112.
Another easy single picked by the Indians.
You can see though, Sonny, that all the singles have been played basically down the ground, because Muralidharan is bowling with such accuracy that there's very little short and wide to hit multiple runs with.
He's bowled well to the right-hander, not so well to the left-hander, because the left-hander has been able to pick him for the singles. It's the right-hander. Rahul Dravid struggled just a little bit.
Yeah, we saw slipping a little bit, trying to paddle the ball fine through that short fine leg position. First ball we've seen a little bit shorter, spun a bit but didn't quite come onto the bat. I wonder if there's a little hint in this wicket for later on.
Well, he's given him the width again this time, and Rahul Dravid has capitalized on it. It's another boundary.
That one definitely went straight on. That was a top spinner that did not spin, but Dravid was equal to it. He saw the length, got a little bit of room, and because it didn't cramp him up for space by not spinning in, he was able to throw the full arms through it, and the result was a fantastic shot for four.
Just a little bit of yes and no, and Dravid could be in trouble.
It's always a difficult area, and confusion often results when the ball is hit square of the wicket. The striker knows where it's gone, he can see the angle, but the non-striker can't. He has to rely heavily on the striker's ability to judge whether or not there's a single in there.
I think the fact that it was going to the left-handed Jayasurya might have made the Indians think twice about going for that. Good over for India. 22 overs gone, 123 for 1. India well placed, 123 for 1 after 22 overs. Ganguly picking another single to long off. It's been Rahul Dravid though who's dominated this partnership. He's 67. Ganguly's 45. Ramesh was the first one to go. Clean bowl by Chaminda Was when the score was 6. Just getting his fingertips to the ball, Jayawardene.
The added difficulty for the Sri Lankans in this sort of situation is not only have you got two batsmen who are going well, but when you've got a left-hander and a right-hander and they're continually rotating the strike, places even greater importance for this length and direction. Great shots. Beautiful shot, Sonny. Just let the ball came onto him, and with a full flow of the face of the bat, straight back past the bowler at a very, very fast pace. And a short boundary out there was no chance for long off to cut that one off.
And so there's nifty footwork all round from the umpire as well. And that's a half-century for Sourav Ganguly. He's had to play second fiddle while Rahul Dravid batted so well, but he's done a very good job for India. Another half-century to him.
Very well deserved 50 for Ganguly, who's been a bit of an anchor man. He's worked the ball around, seized on the short and wide one. The half volley was there. He's prepared to hit the ball through the field. And there's that single again. They haven't forgotten about running the ones, which I think is a very, very good tactic.
8 runs off this over already. One more ball to come. They have taken runs of every single delivery from Jayawardene this over. And they do that off the 6th ball as well. So every single ball scored off in this over. It's 132 for 1.
Shaheen Restaurant, fine Pakistani and Indian cuisine, catering available for all occasions. Call 212-683-2323.
Well, that's the scorecard for you. 132 for 1. India making a couple of changes, bringing in Kumble and Prasad. And Robin Singh, Nayan Mongia not playing in this game. Because of the injury, so Rahul Dravid will have to keep wickets. It's a good thing, therefore, that India batted first, because he probably would have been a little exhausted having to keep wickets. Rahul Dravid.
Difficult thing to do, isn't it, when you have to field for 50 overs. It's usually, you know, chock full of pressure in those 50 overs, and then to turn around after a short break and open the batting is very, very difficult to do.
And particularly if you're not used to keeping wickets, the throws coming at you, some of the throws not always accurate, can be pretty hard on the fingers and the palms, and then gripping the bat can be a problem. So India will be considering itself fortunate that they were batting first.
Mahanama, the ever alert, evergreen, well over 30 years of age, but still a very important member in the fielding team. And I'm reliably informed that he turns 33 on Sunday. So happy birthday to Roshan.
This has been a terrific over for Sri Lanka. Just one off the over, 133 for 1.
Change of bowling. Number 1 on the scoreboard. Number 15 squad number, Jayapuraya.
There's a change in the bowling now. Maila Jayawardena was expensive. So Arjuna Ranatunga turning to Sanat Jayasuriya. He's bowled very well, Sanat Jayasuriya, in the one-day competitions. Not perhaps in the World Cup here. Just got a wicket against Zimbabwe.
It's very deceptive, Sanath, isn't he? There are times when, you know, you can fire the ball in at a rate of knots right up in the block hole. And there are other times that he just holds back and sort of lets it roll across the fingers, and what we have is a huge change of pace. Doesn't spin the ball that much.
This is very good running by the Indians. At Leicester against Zimbabwe, this is exactly what they were not doing. Not working hard, not converting the ones into twos and twos into threes, but here they are doing so.
There's the quicker one from Sanath, where the batsmen have used the pace of that ball to turn it and deflect it behind the square leg umpire for 2. Very well run.
Come on.
One for the big one. There is a fielder there. Will he get to it? Nope. One bounce over the hoardings.
It's a lot of space down there. Got to be rather unlucky to get caught, and he hit it pretty well. And easily in the end beat the fielder, which was Eric Upashantha at the square leg boundary.
With that boundary, Ganguly and Dravid have bettered their own partnership for the World Cup, which came in the first match at Hove, which was 133. It's 133 now. 130 at Hove was their partnership. Interesting to see whether Jayasuriya will bowl over the wicket to the right-handed Rahul Dravid. He used that tactic to great effect in the World Cup in 1996.
On that occasion, though, Sonny, the ball spun square, didn't it? It really wasn't a wicket that was ever going to last anything more than about 40 to 45 overs. And when Sri Lanka had lost the toss and batted first, I'll tell you, I was a very relieved person.
Lower delivery. Seven runs have come off this over so far. Well, has he split the webbing of his right hand there? It does look as if he's split the webbing.
Looks like he's in a spot of bother between the thumb and the index finger. A lot of expression on his face. Never mind, he'll soon have the attention to help him out.
That's a lovely shot. The square boundaries are big boundaries, allowing the fielder to stop it from going to the boundary. It's 142 for 1.
You are listening to Anil Ki Awaaz on 103.3 FM, WPRB in Princeton, New Jersey. Indian radio at its best. New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Staten Island residents tune in every Saturday for 2 hours of nostalgia, hot off the press film music, and lively talk. Exciting contests, too. Everyone else can tune in to www.indiaradio.com. Anil Ki Awaaz, bringing India home.
Gopal Chandana coming in to substitute for Sanat Jayasuriya, who's just gone back to the dressing room to have some attention from the physio for the webbing that he has split. If it's done more damage, it might be a problem for him to grip the bat.
Looks like he's prejudging that one, Sonny. Difficult to get to Muralidharan on the half volley. You can almost feel Ganguly wanting to drive, coming down the wicket, but it's not easy to try and get him on the half volley.
He's a very clever bowler, Muralidharan. Varies it very well. This is top-class cricket. Absolutely top-class. Good shot and top-class fielding in the covers by Roshan Mahanama.
It was a great shot, wasn't it? No runs came from it, but rocked back when he saw it wasn't up, and then took it off the stumps.
Didn't quite get to the pitch of the ball, but carried on with the shot anyway.
You can see Ganguly's intentions, can't you? He just wants to come down the wicket. It's a great little contest, this one. I love watching Muralidharan bowl to a couple of really good players.
Got the ball up Chandrasi there. Ganguly just a little bit lazy, but Steve Dunn now asking for the third umpire to come in. He was thinking, Ganguly, that the throw would go to the wicket keepers, and he was very, very lazy to turn for the second one.
And also, I think, Sonny, that just before you reached safety, the bat was very late in coming down. It may very well be in the air as the ball broke the wicket. This will be interesting. This is an anxious wait.
Well, at least it'll allow Rahul Dravid to recover his breath. They've been running hard, both Ganguly and Dravid, but in this instance, Ganguly took it just a little bit easy, thinking that the throw would go to the wicketkeeper's end. There he is.
Oh no. Struck the ball. Now, was that ball dropped onto the stumps, or did he offend by breaking the wicket with his hand without the ball? So close.
It is pretty marginal. He stopped the ball. Now the bails are coming off, and I think he's in. Well, look at the bat now. The bat should have been really dragged in from earlier. Just before the crease, the bat's been dragged in. Now, this is basic. I think schoolboys are taught to drag the bat in from earlier. Ganguly just putting the bat in a few centimeters in from the crease, but I think he's in.
Probably enough benefit there, Sonny. I think I'd give him in as well. And so does the third umpire.
Three of the over, 145 for one. Well, that's another replay of the appeal for run out against Saurav Ganguly. There's enough doubt in it for the umpire to rule in the batsman's favour. So he's still here, Saurav Ganguly. Jayasuri has come back after having put some tape. So obviously the damage not too great.
Go on, Tony.
It's like misfield in the outfield by Mahela Joe Wardner. We really can't afford to give him any more than singles, really. The odd ball that can be hit back to the infielders to save one. I'll tell you what, 2s and 4s are going to really hurt.
Once again, a little bit of width there. And Jayawardena will have plenty of work to do. Uses his feet, but the Indians, now they've thought about the third one. Looked at one stage as if they were going to be happy with 2. But Ganguly putting the pressure on Dravid to go for the extra run.
It's very hard to defend when you bowl short and wide. Sure, there's some sweepers out in the square boundaries, but I tell you what, when you bowl the ones that are short and you give the batsman the room to swing the arms right through the ball, it's very difficult to contain.
They won't take a second when Mahanama is around the ball. He may be 33 on Sunday, but he's still very agile.
Come, Tony.
There he is back in action. Roshan Mahanama. He saved plenty of runs for Sri Lanka in the field today. They should be looking for 2. And 9 of this over. It's 154 for 1. India after 27 overs are 154 for 1. Big partnership between Dravid and Ganguly of 148. To take you through to the next half an hour, it'll be Martin Crowe and John Embry.
Thanks, Sonny. Murugatharan to continue his 7th over. He's been the only outstanding performer with the ball for Sri Lanka. He's conceded just the 1 boundary out of a total of 19 boundaries struck by India so far. Absolute treat to watch this man in action. over cover, controlled it well, and that's defeated the fielder out there on the boundary. A bit of spin with that shot, and frustration from Muralitharan, and Prashantha was the guilty man out on the fence.
Well, it's good full work by Ganguly, came down the wicket, got to the pitch of the ball, just gave himself a little bit of room, gone with the spin, the ball over extra cover, and the ball just bobbled in the rough there.
Partnership 153. They're off 163 balls in just under 2 hours. And Junior Ranatunga must be wondering, what can he do to get his side back in the game? Tendulkar padded up, Azharuddin, Jadeja. Plenty of gunpowder left in the barrel for India. And surely a score looking beyond the 300 mark is projected. At this rate from here, current rate would be 289, 6 runs per over, 294.
To be honest, I haven't missed Tendulkar, to be honest with you. I think the batting's been exciting. I think both batsmen have batted exceptionally well. Rahul Dravid has played brilliantly, batted very well at Bristol the weekend against Kenya, and he's continuing on with that form now. Good fielding by Mahatma on the wicket. Fielded exceptionally well there today in trying circumstances. Ball flying all over the place, and Tunga just trying to marshal his troops. He doesn't look too phased out there, fairly relaxed. But I think any score under 300, I think at this stage of the game he'd be very, very happy with.
Six runs off that over. It's 160 for 1. Muralitharan, 7 overs, none for 21. He's been superb. The rest of the Sri Lankan bowlers, it's a sad tale. India 160 for 1, the partnership 154. And brings back memories for the Sri Lankans of the partnership between Ganguly and Dravid just 2 months ago in Nagpur, where Dravid scored 116 off 118, and Ganguly scored 130. Partnership of 236 for the second wicket, so they're on target to perhaps break that here at Taunton. Chaminda Vaas brought back into the attack by Junior Ranatunga. 5 overs, 1 for 35. The only wicket taker so far out of Ramesh. Ramesh was bowled by an absolute beauty in the first over for 5.
Just what Vaas has been asked to do, come on to bowl. They need to break this partnership, and this ball just going across Dravid. Not very well taken by the wicket-keeper, dropping that ball. But Sri Lanka very much need a wicket. It's one way of slowing down the over rate. And you've got Tendulkar to come to the wicket, Azharuddin, Jadeja, a lot of batting to come for India.
Ranatunga will use Vaas for a couple of overs and hold him back for 2 or 3 at the death. He really does need to rotate his bowlers almost on a 1 or 2 over basis until he can make the breakthrough. But Dravid's career there really is improving all the time, average of 37, 400s. He's had a lot of criticism, John, in recent times from his own public. Slow play in the one-day game. An extraordinary situation. So they didn't want him on the side when he came out to New Zealand, but he responded with a couple of hundreds. And in fact, already in 1999, he's up over 900 runs.
Well, he's an extraordinary cricketer. He's a beautiful technician. Technically, he's very correct. Got shots all around the wicket, and he is an absolutely marvellous player. And he's really opened up and he's blossomed in this World Cup. He's got an 84. He scored 100 at Bristol, and he's well onto his way now with 82, scoring a century here against Sri Lanka. And if he continues in this vein, I think England are going to be under a tremendous amount of pressure on Saturday.
It's the 2. Just the 1 run. Good feeling in the deep. I think you paid the best compliment of all when you've said that you haven't missed Tendulkar. Such has been the quality of Dravid and Ganguly in the middle. Particularly Dravid. 82 off 81 balls. And Tunga is still finding it cold in the middle. Obviously hasn't got too near the ball as yet. It's fair raced off the bat. Whack. Could be gone, no. Just wide of the field on the deep. 1 bounce.
Well, Rahul Dravid seems to have a mile of time there. This ball from just short of a length from Chaminda Vaas, and Dravid just rocks back onto the back foot. Has a lot of time, places that ball in front of square, a bit uppishly, but into a gap, and a comfortable 4 runs.
Well, for a minute, he hit it at that height, around head height towards the outfielder, but he placed it superbly. 12 boundaries so far for Dravid. Another misfield. Sri Lanka are under the gun here. 8 off the over. 168 for 1 from 29.
Now you can apply immigration for you, your friends and your family anywhere in the world. Call 1-800-700-9588. First World Immigration Services.
India's heartbeat is fairly steady. Concentrated just under the 6 runs per over mark. It got up to over 7 at around the 10 over to 15 over mark. Tonga now is starting to make the changes. Over the silver. His vice captain is going to be trusted with the ball. Bowls gentle off spin. So no Lutheran is being arrested.
Tunga rotating his bowlers well. Just trying to keep the batsmen guessing. Very difficult for non-bowlers and non-regular bowlers to come on and do a job of containing when 2 batsmen are well set at the crease, scoring runs freely all around the wicket. A lot of responsibility now on Aravinda to keep it tight. Underrated off-spinner. Does turn the ball. Doesn't bowl with a great deal of pace, and bowls slightly short of a length, doesn't give you much to drive, and on low, slow wickets, he's a very difficult batsman to get after. This is a very good pitch, and 2 batsmen in. They've adjusted to the pace and the bounce of the wicket well. And again, just look to work the ball around and continue to build this Indian total, and with wickets in hand. Sure, they'll get up.
You're good. Keep going. Keep going. Come on. Come on, lads. That's it. Put it down.
Good start by Silver. singles so far, 3 dot balls. That's one of the best overs so far. Pretty reading for Sri Lanka. It's quite a long boundary out there. Back to a comfortable 2. 4 off the over. 172 for 1. On 89. Levison's timing never ceased to amaze. Plays the ball so late. Chancellor is in the thick of it. Backward point. Conceivable John too on this ground, particularly with the boundary small straight. He could go past their highest score so far of the tournament. Post 330 or more, particularly with 9 wickets in hand.
Well, to score 8 runs and over in the last 20 overs is not an impossibility. These 2 batsmen are going along comfortably at around about 5 to 6 runs and over on average. With quality players still to come and the depth of batting that they've got, then a total of 300, 330 is not beyond all realms, and the projected total, if they score 8 runs and over in this remaining 20 overs, is 329, which I think equals the total that they scored at Bristol against Kenya. The Sri Lankans, current world champions from the last World Cup, won't give up that easily. Conditions haven't favoured them. They haven't bowled brilliantly, but these 2 batsmen have played particularly well. This inset here, ball coming in. The bow's been broken and very close.
They clearly showed that the ball dropped out of his hand as he went on to take the bails off. So a good decision. That broke a nice little sequence for Vas. 3 dot balls in a row. But striking at a runner ball. Steve Dunn in New Zealand. He's New Zealand's best umpire, most experienced. New Zealand have 2 umpires here at the World Cup. South Africa and New Zealand are allowed to bring a 2nd umpire. Interesting too, John, because in the game at Hove against South Africa, Dravid and Ganguly put on a good partnership. And they were a bit guilty of not going early in terms of the charge. They put on 130, but they only really went after it with 9 wickets in hand about the 40th over. And if they'd gone 5 overs earlier, they could have posted a score that would have been defended. I reckon the time's to go about now. And so does Ganguly. Terrific shot.
Good call then, Martin. 4 runs at the end of the over. India 177 for 1.
Can I have your attention, please? May I remind everyone on the ground that no matter what circumstances may be, will you please keep behind the boundary balls at all times, no one is ever on the pitch. No matter what circumstances might be.
Wonderful partnership now, 171, as Dravid gets in on the yacht, trying to pick at the short boundary. down towards the River Tone. And they can't afford to cruise at this stage. They know that the Sri Lankans have got the gunpowder as well. Big hit. Massive and maximum score. And that's in the river. Tremendous shot by Ganguly. He's pleased with that shot. Takes him up to 70-81. Tremendous shot, well timed, good footwork. We're looking in one window there, but it cleared that by another 15 metres. A super strike by Sourav Ganguly. I got the feeling the last over that both batsmen felt it was time to go, and he's taken the initiative. 4 off the last ball, and this is the first ball off Aravinda Silva that he's faced. He's sent it out of the ground.
I suppose the first over that Aravinda had was a little bit of a sighter for the batsman. Bowled a very good over, but on this occasion, Ganguly used his feet well. Good follow through. One thing I remember about touring India is when the Indians come down to hit the ball, they don't hold back.
Now he's struck that as sweet as a biscuit. I think the Indian supporters in absolute hyper mode. Big hit, but that has cleared the new pavilion and disappeared into the River Tone. Ganguly's first 6, India's first 6. They've struck 22 fours. Hang on to your seats, folks. The ride might still be a bumpy one for Sri Lanka. Run rate closing in now. Runs per 9 wickets in hand. We're in for some turbulent weather.
Well, I think you called it the previous over when at the end of the over, Ganguly got the 4 over cover point. Over 6. I think this is going to be the turning point of the game. I was going to say a little bit earlier on that you really need to take wickets to keep the run rate down, but he's got 2 options, Ranatunga. If he needs to take wickets, is he going to rely on his bowlers to try and bowl defensively and put pressure on the Indian batsmen that are flowing? Or does he be a little bit more aggressive, cut off the singles, encourage batsmen to get over the top and trying to make them play a bad shot? But it's a difficult one to call, and Ranatunga in a very difficult position at this stage of the game. At the end of the over, India only 4 for 1.
be a change of bowling. Number 10 on the scoreboard, number 10 on the squad list. So
Singer is now in of the attack. It's pulling up there. Singer's 1 for 27 off 5. He bowled those overs from the opposite end, the Rivertone end. Now then, this partnership 178. Ganguly's stated his case in terms of the approach around the 30 over mark. Covered 91 off 90. One thing's for sure, John, is that with this impressive total, whatever it may be, it's going to force Sri Lanka to come out and play their natural game, which they haven't done so far in the World Cup. Like Jai Surya and Aravinda, perhaps Kalawitarana will come up and open, and that should be a delight to see.
Well, many experts have talked about the last World Cup and the placid wickets, no movement through the air, no movement off the wicket, and Sri Lanka's tactics working out perfectly there on the subcontinent. But it hasn't worked here in England, and people have suggested that Sri Lanka this time around have got their tactics wrong. But we've got a good wicket, there isn't much sideways movement. A little bit of swing early on with the new ball, but if Sri Lanka can overcome that, then you can't rule them out. Jai Surya hasn't had a great tournament at the moment. Everyone's waiting for him to fire, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of fireworks later on this afternoon. Long spread. Fine leg still back for the right-hander, and mid-on is up for Ganguly. It's 81 off 101. Mid-on comes up and long off. He's in position. Ganguly just had a little look over his shoulder there at the vacancy of the mid-wicket region. The bowler has good control over his length. We've got one of the two straight fielders, mid-on, mid-off, one of them going back. It may not be a bad idea for Ranatunga to bring up the other fielder, the long on or the long off, have them both up and try to encourage the Indian batsmen to hit the seamers over the top in the hope they might miss-hit one and fall out, get a new batsman to crease, although I don't think that will slow the tempo down. Single could be tight. Moving in with a shot in advantage. There. And I fancy that the Sri Lankans are just in damage control at the moment. Just setting for, say, around a score of 285, something like that. Just want to save as many boundaries as they can. 22 struck so far, 1-6. Four singles time. Over from Booker Singer, 188 for 1.
here. Justified Ganguly there as he charged. Into Silver, just dragging it down. So Ganguly couldn't get to the pitch of the ball. There's the line-up. One would feel now that Kalawikirana will come up in place of Mahanama. And fire from both ends, right from the word go. This is a good pitch here at Taunton. It really is coming on nicely to the bat. There's very little sideways movement. One aspect to consider too is that at Hove against South Africa, Ganguly, when he got into the 90s, slowed up and felt that he was playing for his 100. Stayed down. And India don't want to make the mistake this time of losing valuable overs while the individual looks for his own personal milestone. These two must continue with 9 wickets in hand. Tendulkar to come in next. They must forget about their personal game.
Come on, lads, come on!
Get as many as they can.
That's a good point, Martin. And so much often in the past when teams have played against India, batsmen have been a little bit selfish in looking after their own personal performances and records at the expense of the team. And Ganguly did that at Hove. Did cost India runs against South Africa. And very important, they just continue in the mode they are at the moment. And once they get there, they go on with the job, and it's their responsibility to build this big total. Since that big 6 by Ganguly, it's just been 9 singles in the last 2 overs. 34 overs gone, 192 for 1.
May I repeat my first announcement? No matter what the circumstances be, the people remain behind the boundary boards. No one to run on the pitch for any reason whatsoever.
This is 3 overs left. Vikram Singh is into his 7th now. He'll bowl perhaps one more and be saved for the end. Lutheran must also finish out at some stage. So since that boundary was struck, just to reiterate, by Ganguly, the Indians have kind of gone into their shell a little bit again. 10 singles in 17 deliveries. That's a big hit. Straight as a dime, and it's gone all the way. It's hit the top of the fence, and therefore just 4 runs as David Shepherd applies the law. That's a tremendous blow from Ganguly. His 10th boundary.
That's a good shot by Shurav Ganguly. Comes down the wicket, just hits through, punches the ball through low. Very short boundary straight here at Taunton. Ball doesn't clear the fence, and it has to clear the fence because there's no rope inside the boundary board.
It's been a magnificent display, almost exhibition-like, the way these two have gone about their work today. Having been sent in by Ranatunga, partnership is now 191. The back foot.
What has been so impressive is they haven't slogged, they've just played good shots, they've been calculating. When they've hit the ball over the top, they've played the ball into gaps, they've opened the face to over extra cover, they've used the full face of the bat when they're hitting straight. Ganguly's into his 90s, and this is what we were talking about when he got there at Hove. He's slowed down.
At least one of these batsmen has got to decide, and this is where they've got to communicate, decide who's going to go for the boundaries. It's perhaps no point just at the stage that they both go. You tend to do that with 10 overs to go, but at least one. And it seems as though Ganguly, just in recent overs, has decided that he'll look to maximise the most amount of runs off an over. Beautifully played. That is a glorious touch. Leg stump by Wickramasinghe. The 200 up for India in just the 35th over.
Live World Cup broadcasts only at Kaito Restaurant on Richmond Hill, Lefferts Boulevard.
Overs to go. Aravinda to continue. Dravid now looking to feed the strike, but he'll come back for two. That's well placed. Not a mistake too. Adapatu. There's been a number of fumbles by the Sri Lankans. Dravid on 99. Now, take you through to what will be a wonderful milestone. Dav Watmore and Paul Allen.
Thanks, Martin. Rahul Dravid, 99 not out. He's 100 now. Marvellous innings from Rahul Dravid. It's his 5th one-day international 100, second against Sri Lanka, and his second in this World Cup. Dominant batsman.
And what a time to do it, Paul. In a very, very crucial game here at Taunton, where the winner looks likely to go through to the second stage. He's turned on a fantastic effort to a very, very appreciative crowd on a good batting wicket.
Only Mark Waugh and now Rahul Dravid have got consecutive hundreds in the World Cup. Still 14 overs plus to go. India will have 300 in their sights, that is for sure. Oh, that's beautifully played. Very deft, wristy stroke, backward of point. Won't go for 4. Dravid will pick up 2 more.
You know you're playing well when you hit those sort of balls, don't you? If he misses, looks like it was going to bowl him, but he's in good form that he's able to take the ball off the stumps to an area where he's not protected and pick up a very good 2 runs.
Be a wide. No margin, you see, even for the spinner, if it's leg side. 200 partnership up between Ganguly and Dravid. Just taken 213 balls. Half stopped. 211 for 1.
Qualifies for $500 worth of LG vouchers awarded by LG Electronics. His 100 came off 101 balls, contained 12 balls.
Enthusiastic supporters of both teams here today. It's an electric atmosphere at Taunton as Wickramasinghe comes into bowl his 8th over. It's been a fairly disheartening World Cup thus far for Sri Lanka, Dav. You coached them to the World Championship of Cricket 4 years ago. What is it that's happened to this Sri Lankan side? Are they over the hill? Are they
just poorly equipped for English conditions, because they've not done anything really to be too proud of in this competition as yet.
No, you're right. I think right from the outset, I always knew it was going to be very, very difficult for the islanders to have an impact here, simply because the conditions that were prevailing during May and June were going to make it difficult for them. The batsmen are top class, there's no question about that, and I think some of them can improvise on some of these wickets. But to have the ability to, as we see another shot going down the fine leg, the ability to get the ball past the bat at pace, I think, is very important. The South African team do it extremely well. They've got a terrific pace battery, and no matter what they score with the bat, they always feel that they're good enough to bowl the opposition out. In Sri Lanka's case, it's a little bit the opposite. They feel that no matter what the opposition get in terms of runs, they're able to do it with the bat, but it becomes harder under these conditions.
Beautiful flowing cover drive. It'll only bring him one as Muralitharan scampers round at deep extra cover.
The frightening thought, though, is if you do happen to break this partnership, you've got the best batsman in the world walking out with Sachin Tendulkar. That does present even further problems.
Yeah, it's a worrying thought for any bowler. I'll grant you that. A worrying thought for all the Sri Lankans. I gotta say, a lot of people in this crowd want a glimpse of Sachin Tendulkar, more than a glimpse. 10, 11, 12 overs of him towards the end of this innings, and India could break the 300 barrier quite comfortably. It's in the slot and hoisted over mid-on, not timed to perfection, but still through for 4. 6 off the over, 217 for 1. That's where India have scored their 217, 8 extras, 209 off the bat, all round the wicket. Testimony to two things. One, the Sri Lankan bowlers have struggled with their line, and the other is that this pitch is an absolute beauty to bat on. Muralitharan back into the attack. Yeah, the groundsman here, Phil Frost, has won Groundsman of the Year 3 times out of the last 5 seasons. Great pride in his ground, and a huge square to look after here at Taunton. Virtually covers the whole width of the ground, and does a blooming good job.
Certainly produced a good one today. It's got bounce, it's got a bit of pace in it. Really not much room for error from the bowlers.
Good stop. Fine piece of fielding at point. Muralitharan has been the pick of Sri Lanka's bowlers. He's in his 8th over. He's only gone for 21, under 3 and over. This just reinforces what a classy performer he is.
I can only remember really the one ball that he's bowled in all these overs so far, which has been short and a bit of wide and a bit of width. But everything else, the batsman really has to be watchful and be careful in the way in which they play it.
The only thing, if you can be critical about this partnership, the only thing that's not been up to scratch really is the running between the wickets of Ganguly and Dravid. It's not been urgent enough. I dare say we might be picking hairs, but splitting hairs, but I reckon they could have got another 10 or a dozen runs if they'd really put their skates on and been committed to singles and twos. That's high in the air. That is a wonderful stroke. He gave himself room and virtually flicked it over extra cover for 6. Magnificent. 2-4 for 1.
This part of the broadcast is sponsored by Air Jamaica, the most non-stop champagne flights on the youngest fleet in the Caribbean.
We've just had the shot of the match from Raul Dravid. 6 over extra cover. 114 from 110. 97 from 117 to Saurav Ganguly. And a change in the bowling attack. Eric Upashantha coming back on. 6 overs for 37. Murali's bowled 8 overs for 28. He can't be faulted in his efforts. It was he who was hit for 6 off the last ball of that over. First time, really, anybody's got after him. Ganguly on strike on 97. Goes past the 97 he made against South Africa at Hove in India's opening match in this tournament. No, that's not good. I'm sorry, that is not good. 2-2-5 for 1.
Well, there's another piece of evidence of what you were saying before, Paul, that you know, the desire to keep the scoreboard ticking over, not just with the boundaries but also the ones. You just never know what can happen at the end of the day's play. But if you don't take these singles and run hard and aggressively for the twos, you just never know.
Straight back over the bowler's head. It's only 1 though. I tell you what, you can rest assured, Dav, that the Sri Lankans, having watched this and seeing that the pitch is a very good one for batting on, they'll be coming out all guns blazing.
That's right. I can recall a game in Sharjah where West Indies scored 333 on a very good pitch and quick outfield like this one is, and the Sri Lankans in their run chase fell 4 runs short. So you know, they are capable.
Ganguly will look to push for 2, and he will get there. That's his 100. It's his first in the World Cup and his 7th in all. Fine performance from a little left-hander.
What a place to do it as well. In the World Cup game against Sri Lanka, where the winners looks like getting through, he's made a terrific contribution to his team. And with both of these batsmen now on 100 plus, we should see some. We should see the run rate accelerate.
Well bowled. Slower ball. But I don't think it's time for Ganguly or Dravid to spare the horses now. They're both in 3 figures. 11 overs and 1 ball remaining in the innings. 228 for 1. They've got to really motor now. There should be some spectacular batting up ahead. Oh, that'll be a wide. It's a little bit unfortunate that I don't think David Shepherd had any choice there. batsman looking to give himself room, going away down the leg side. You feel for the bowler in those circumstances, as he had to pitch it up and bowl it outside off stump. Good on the up. Only one. 6 off the over, 230 for 1.
It came off 119 balls with 11 balls. May we thank you all for remaining behind the boundary boards. Keep it up.
Crowd have been very well behaved. The PA announcer has just said thank you for keeping behind the boundary boards as the two Indians, Ganguly and Dravid, got to the century. No mini invasion, that's good to see. Smashed through the offside by Ganguly. Super shot. Muralitharan coming in for some treatment now.
Yes. It's not hard to see why, with 234 on the board, with 9 big wickets still yet to come out. They can afford to take a few risks, and I think we'll see a lot more of this.
Well, it's a good effort, Kalu, but I don't think that you've kidded anybody there. The wide given.
Top spinner that just went straight on. He might have clipped the pad, yeah.
That's big. And that's another one for the river.
Oh, we're just treated to some unbelievable hitting now, as we forecasted. Both of these batsmen seeing the ball like a football. Spinners on, they're using their feet, and they're treating the crowd to an unbelievable batting.
It's short boundary straight, but that shouldn't detract from the quality of that last shot. The ball is floating down the River Tone, and this is the second replacement we've got here. Partnership now worth 236, which equals the partnership set against Sri Lanka in March by Ganguly and Dravid. And that breaks it. Record partnership for Ganguly and Dravid, 237. Well bowled and well played. Checking the shot. Still 1 ball left in the over. For 14 so far. Full toss for just 1. 15 from the 40th over, 245 for 1.
Are you looking for medical insurance, visitors, travelers, immigrants, software consultants, and H1 workers insurance in the U.S.? Zain Jivanji Insurance Agency, 1-800-257-7718.
Last 10 overs begins. Oh, we've had plenty of fireworks up to now. It's usually now the fireworks start. Dravid on strike to Upashanta.
Once again taken off the stumps. That's how easy it is. You can trust the bounce. The wicket's an exceptionally good one. Ball's 40 overs old, and there's just gaps everywhere in the field.
He's the most experienced captain in world cricket, Arjuna Ranatungam. He's going to have to draw on all that now to try and keep India to something approaching a manageable total.
Just think when things are getting really tough out there, very important for every bowler, for every ball to concentrate on where he's directing it. At the moment we've got a long on and a long off. Very important for that bowler to bowl straight and keep it up.
Crowd aren't happy. We've got the supporters down below us shouting, "We want Sachin." It's a bit soul-destroying for the two guys that are 114, 117 not out. And if they keep going at this rate, they'll make 305. If they bump it up to 8 and over, they'll be over 320. Can't win, can you? Two more. There's really nowhere for Sri Lanka to go here. It's just a question of getting through the remaining 9 overs and 2 balls. And try and limit the damage. Runs all around the wicket for Rahul Dravid. .250 up for India. Still plenty of time left. .35 balls for the last 50 to be scored. A run a ball off the over. 251 for 1. Run rate over 6 and over with 9 to go. India on target for a mammoth score here. Muralitharan to bowl. It's Murali's last over. He's been the pick of Sri Lanka's bowlers by a street. Suffered a bit in his last over. At 42 up to now. We've got to make that 48 because that's over the pavilion as well, I think. Oh no, just clip the roof and into a crowd of joyous Indian supporters. 250 partnership comes up.
What an incredible performance. It's a very, very difficult time for the Sri Lankan fielders and bowlers. In this situation, as Paul said before, there's just nowhere to go. We'll just have to work as hard as you can to bowl as full as you can and hope that they just don't pierce the field.
I'll tell you what we've not seen, Dad. We've not seen many Yorkers. It's as quick as Murali can bowl, I think. and it's still gone for 4. It's exceptionally good batting because that was fired down the leg side. It was really wide, and Ganguly still had time to backtrack and flick it away for 4.
Well, look at that. If he had missed that, 2 things for sure. One was a wide, and secondly, he would have been stumped. But he was just good enough to get bat on ball, and it just raced away.
Kalu appeals, and Muralitharan doesn't appeal. And it's probably because Ganguly didn't hit it. Straight again. Another 6. Tell you, it is a short boundary straight, but that's hit with immense power. Flat and into the stand. It's his highest score now in one-day international cricket, 131. Wide. But again, you feel for the bowler because if he gets it anywhere near the batsman, he's being clubbed all over the ground. Could get 2 here. Settle for 1. 18 off. End of Muralitharan. 269 for 1. India 269 for 1. Partnership 263 for the second wicket. It equals the world record for the second wicket between Amar Sahel and Inzamam ul Haq. Pakistan against New Zealand in Sharjah back in '94. They've broken that. Not far off the record partnership of all time for any wicket, which was 275. Azharuddin and Jadeja against Zimbabwe and Kotak in 1998. Carved away. It's a streaky shot, but well, you can forgive them that. Dravid gets another boundary.
It's a short boundary to the third man position, and when you're 274 for 1, you've got to throw the bat at everything. We've got a lot more batting to come, and I'll tell you what, this crowd has been treated to some unbelievable hitting.
Two more. Oh, it's a no ball. 3 more. Muralitharan has finished his 10 overs. He went for 60. Rolled his first 7 for 29. Sorry, first 7 for 21. Went for 39 off his last 3. Giving Arjuna and Atunga 1 or 2 things to think about. Clubbed away, again high onto the offside. Just 1.
Well, you can see that's just not the place to bowl. Short and wide. Gives the batsman plenty of time and room to throw the hand through the ball. And look at that.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying they'd know where to go, Dav, but there've been precious few block hole balls, precious few slower balls from the seamers. Yeah, they just look as though they've been a little bit naive today.
Yeah, I think you're right in that respect, because what you have to do when you're getting hit around the park is to change things around. If you're good enough to bowl in the block, well, okay, that's terrific to bowl some Yorkers, but a block more slower balls really does change the swinging arc and the pace of the bat. And I think that would have been a much better tactic to have employed.
There's a slower ball, and it's worked. Just one from it. One a ball at this stage is a victory for the bowling side.
Well, there's nothing wrong, I think, in bowling, 4 or 5 slower balls in an over. It makes the batsman think, just wondering when that next quicker one's coming, and it really does make it difficult for the, as I said, for the bat to readjust to the pace of the ball.
$11 off the over. 280 for 1.
A young boy has been knocked by his parents on the ground. He's 9 years of age. He's wearing an Indian cricket shirt, and his name is G-A-L-L-N, G-A-A-L. If he's on the ground or someone sees him, you go or someone take him to reception in the native village where his parents are waiting.
Last 10 overs, India have scored 92 runs, haven't lost a wicket. They've only lost one all the way through their 43. There's 7 overs remaining to take you through the climax of the Indian innings. Sunil Gavaskar is with Martin Crowe.
Thanks, Paul. Not a bad time to step in if you want to be entertained. It's been absolutely entertainment right from the word go. First over, Ramesh struck a nice boundary, then was bowled by Vas. And since then, it's been the men in light blue. Dravid 127, Ganguly 134. And the party continues. 7 overs to go. Another fumble. There's been far too many. That's one thing you can control, is your fielding. Sri Lanka have been below par.
Yes, I think they seem to have been simply overwhelmed by the Indian batting. And the fielding certainly hasn't been of any help at all to the bowlers. The bowling has been pretty ordinary, apart from the first spell by Chaminda Vas, where he got the ball to swing. But the fielders certainly haven't helped the Sri Lankans.
Magnificent. Just dissected 2 men on the boundary. It's not a big hit, but it's the control.
Was straight as an arrow. You can't set a field for that. The fielders would be a little bit wide at mid-off and mid-on, or rather long off and long on.
It's now the greatest partnership in one-day international history. Great effort, but it's away to the fence for 4 more.
Well, the question is, at this stage, when you're coming to the dying overs, whether you try and stop the ball from going to the boundary or trying to take a wicket, because only 1 wicket down, mind you. But this is a great effort. You have to say it's a great effort. Eric Upashanta going for it.
This time it goes onside. So that partnership is now 284. The previous best was 275, unbeaten, between Muhammad Azharuddin and AJ Jadeja and Katak back in 97-98 against Zimbabwe. And we've got a right royal show here of posting the first 300 partnership in a one-day game. That'll be something to tell your grandkids. Hardly a person in their seat here at Taunton. hitting the ball at will. It really is a matter of just picking a spot for these two. They must be seeing the ball so big.
Well, it's important that they keep going. Of course, there's Sachin Tendulkar to follow. What a prospect for India. Highest individual scores in the tournament so far. Tendulkar 140. His record is under threat.
Just chipped in the air. Mahanama has made another bold effort, but again, it just to lose the Sri Lankans. And 16 off that over. 296 for one.
You are listening to Anil Ki Awaaz on 103.3 FM, WPRB in Princeton, New Jersey. Indian radio at its best. New Jersey, Eastern Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Staten Island residents tune in every Saturday for 2 hours of nostalgia, hot off the press film music, and lively talk. Exciting contests, too. Everyone else can tune in to www.indiaradio.com. Anil Ki Awaaz, bringing India home.
Dravid races past Ganguly to race to 150. India just 4 off the 300 mark. 6 overs left. Projected score could be anywhere between 350 and anything else you like. Just to give you an indication of the rate they're scoring at, the last 5 overs they've scored 66. They're averaging 6.7 through the course of the innings. They've hit 31 boundaries and 5 sixes. Whack! Oh, he had the right position, but he couldn't get it into the hands with the Masinger. It went so high off the bat.
Well, I think he would have been thinking whether he's going to crash into the hoardings there, Vikramasinghe. Yes, I think that's at the back of his mind. And at the end of it, he makes a pretty simple mess of what should have been an easy catch. With 300 coming up with that shot. And India are in a tremendous position.
3-4 more. Ganguly charged and just had to check the shot. But he still threw the bat at it. It flew over gully for 4. 143 now by Ganguly. He's raced past Dravid.
This is exhilarating stuff. Very seldom has one seen the Indian batsman score at this rate. This is certainly top class and will give them a very, very good chance of coming out on top in this match.
Great shot. Again, he just goes down the ground, just chips the bowler and times it beautifully. 3rd boundary in a row. The partnership now, for the first time ever in one day international history, is 300.
Well, the straight boundaries are short, all right, but you still have to hit it between the fielders. So Ganguly has hit it quite beautifully.
.302, the partnership, 267 balls, just over 3 hours. Scintillating stuff. Stunning. See you later. 150 for Ganguly. His 5th homer.
This is terrific. This is tremendous. This is magnificent. This is simply superb.
Ganguly's last 50, can you believe it, came off just 24 balls. What a party here in Taunton. The ball. Well bowled by Prashantha, even though he overstepped the mark. So Another ball left in the over. Well, Sonny, this is a sight to behold.
Absolutely, this is unbelievable stuff. Eric Upashanta, inexperience showing over there.
Are you looking for medical insurance, visitors, travelers, immigrants, software consultants, and H1 workers insurance in the U.S.? Zain Jivanji Insurance Agency, 1-800-257-7718.
Best over so far for India, 21 from it. After 45, 317 for one. The ball has crossed the boundary 40 times here at Taunton. 34 fours, 6 sixes. As this partnership just continues to smash all records. 311 now. 5 overs left. Beautifully bowled by Vas, but again he oversteps. On a few occasions the Sri Lankans get it right. And they're still conceding the extra run. And of course have to bowl the ball again.
Well, they'll have to hurry up the Sri Lankans because all these no balls certainly not helping their over 8. What they don't want to do is find that the ICC match referee has said that they'll bowl a couple of overs short, and so they should be batting for only 48 overs. Is that going to be out? It isn't. One of their top fielders, Muthaiya Muralidharan, he drops a relatively simple catch.
It's got to be the most humiliating feeling. It really is sad to see. Sri Lankans really down and out here. Vas managed to parry it down. It won't really go down as a chance. They must be in shock, Sri Lanka. Total shock. Ranatunga, known as a cool customer, must be absolutely seething inside as their World Cup chances start to disappear. One thing's for certain, folks. Don't go away when the Sri Lankans come out to bat.
Yes, the boundaries will still be the same for the Sri Lankans. Short boundaries. So, of course, the Sri Lankans play more square of the wicket than straight.
There's no point predicting where the batsmen are going to hit. This time, Muralidharan will have another chance to redeem himself. Just dropped short. Now, this could be interesting. Muralidharan may not have been able to take the catch, but he did fire the ball in, and Steve Dunn, the umpire, has called for the third umpire. Dravid was the man trying to come back for the second.
This ball wasn't very far away from Muralidharan. Question is, was Rahul Dravid short when the ball hit the stumps? I think he may just be on the line, and which will mean that a brilliant innings will have come to an end.
Well, that looks gone. On the line is out. And just a frame back is the third umpire, Ray Julian. Should be pressing the red button any minute. So Dravid's innings should come to a close at 1:45. There. That is on the line. And there's the red light. Well, it was probably the only way that this partnership was going to be finished. A partnership of 317 of 274 balls. Rahul Dravid, who was the first to 100, went on to 145. He faced only 129 balls, 17 fours and 1 6. The crowd are on their feet. It's 324 for 2. Sight this wonderful crowd has waited so long for, the sight of Sachin Tendulkar coming to the crease off his 140 not out against Kenya at Bristol. Dravid, the last man to go, run out for 145. What can the little master do in such short space of time? Just 4.2 overs left.
Well, he could get 30 or 40. The crowd was actually clamoring for Sachin Tendulkar in spite of the fantastic scoring rate of Dravid and Ganguly. He's got a very good chance of getting to 8,000 runs.
31 runs to be the second Indian to surpass 8,000 runs. Straight off the meat of the bat. And he'll hold the strike. It's 326 for 2.
Live World Cup broadcasts only at Kaito Restaurant on Richmond Hill, Lefferts Boulevard.
Indian partnerships, Ramesh and Ganguly 6. Dravid and Ganguly have raised the highest partnership by more than 43 runs in the history of the one-day game. That will be very hard to break, I can assure you. Sanath Jayasuriya has drawn the short straw.
Well, he is bowled well, but not here today. He's gone for 9 runs of his 9 runs per over of his 2 overs, and he's facing Tendulkar.
It's a wide. You can't blame the bowler. Wide and 2 runs for the fact that they ran through for the single as well. Really, the best place on the ground to keep hitting for Ganguly and Tendulkar is straight over the bowler's head. Mid on and mid off are fairly wide. Just like that.
Well, it is a short boundary, and if you're going to have a spinner coming into bowl, unless he's going to really fire those Yorkers into the right spot,
both Ganguly and Tendulkar, who are such superb players straight, will be able to take him for runs. Well, that's the delivery that he's got to bowl. Just fire it in the block hole.
Doesn't beat short fine leg. Shimmied with his foot early on to step away, then snuck inside. He was brilliant at that shot against Kenya Bristol. Played with the bowling, just as Ganguly is playing with the bowling here at Taunton. He's now 166. He's 172. They may as well put stamps on that ball because it'll come back a lot quicker. He's pretty well cleared every pavilion now on this ground.
And Ray Blewett, the ESPN star cameraman, he's taken the catch right on top over there.
Maybe wide. Ganguly is only 3 runs shy of the record for an Indian batsman in the World Cup. Kapil Dev's 175 not out against Zimbabwe in 1983, when he came in at 5 for 17 to snatch the game away from Zimbabwe. Now bowled him. Brilliant delivery by Jaya Surya. Man, what a play that is.
Well, that had to happen. And perhaps from the Indian point of view, if the law of averages is what you're looking for, it's a good thing to have happened to Sachin Tendulkar in this match when they already have 344 on the scoreboard. Because then he can fire in the next game against England. Well, disappointment there for the crowd because the little champion is out. It's 344 for 3.
Coming back to number 6 on the scoreboard, number 3 squad number, Ajay Jadeja.
For 3. Tendulkar has departed. Ajay Jadeja gets underway. $19 off that over. And India now 3 overs to go. 345 for 3. So a big over for India, but they did lose the master, Tendulkar. Ganguly struck the 2 magnificent boundaries. And he is now 172, poised to go past Kapil Dev. Mohammad Azharuddin deciding to send in Jadeja. Here's the list of highest individual scores. Syed Anwar at the top. Vivian Richards, who's here today, will be enjoying this feast by Ganguly. Richards twice in the top 4. 345 for 3. That's the highest score ever mounted by India in their one-day history. Wickramasinghe. So a very good shot. Perhaps a little straight than he'd wanted to. Jadeja takes out Kalawitharana. There'll be no hard feelings there. That was just one of those things. But Sri Lanka are certainly getting pummeled from all quarters.
Well, this is quite nice. We've known batsmen running in the line of the ball so that the ball is not on the stumps, doesn't score a direct hit, but this is fantastic stuff.
Magnificent shot again. This could go all the way, and the Sri Lankans did well. Good pace in stopping that off. Talk about putting your opposition on the canvas. Jadeja there really did knock over Kalawitharana. A fierce blow. This is the replay of Tendulkar. Beautiful bowling by Jayasuriya. Fast and full. Got him. Stunning catch by Wickramasinghe as Jadeja departs. One short of the 350.
Well, finally, the Sri Lankans holding on to a catch. They have dropped a few catches. They've misfielded. But as it comes to the dying overs, they are beginning to feel a little bit better than in the early overs. This is hit very, very hard. Wickramasinghe has got big palms, and the ball's nestled in that. Jadeja cotton ball, Wickramasinghe 5, 349 for 4.
A rare rush of success for Sri Lanka as they picked up 3 quick wickets over Tendulkar and Jadeja. Back in the pavilion. Robin Singh is the new man. Azharuddin promoting his slugger. Left-handed Singh. Good hitter of the ball. Strong through mid-wicket. He's got this high in the air. Good catch. Ravana de Silva stayed calm under that. That went a long way up. Robin Singh just a little hasty going for the big one, first ball.
Yes, he really should have given more of the strike to Saurav Ganguly. Get the feet moving, a couple of quick singles. I know it's coming to the final overs, but Ganguly is batting at the other end very well. The smart thing would have been to try and pick a single, give Ganguly the strike. But Robin Singh departs first ball. Hot Arvinda de Silva, bowled Wickramasinghe. And the score is 349 for 5.
Wickramasinghe now on a hat-trick. Oh, what a shame. A wide call. We've had almost everything in this match. Who would have put money on a hat-trick? And there's the 350. Mohammad Azharuddin will be a delighted man as the leader of this Indian side. Still some work to be done. Chipping. So just the single. It's the last 150 by India. Has come off just 79 balls. It shows the rate of knots that they've been playing today. Ramesh, the first to go, bowled Vas in the first over. In that partnership, 318, a world record. Azharuddin plays his first delivery. His customary flick through the leg side. Sees him off the mark. 352 for 5. Well, for the first time in this World Cup, the Carnival of Cricket has come alive here in Taunton. India have put on a batting blitz. 34 fours, 8 sixes have been struck. There's still 2 overs to go. Azharuddin is on strike. He's there on 1. Ganguly 173 not out. Azharuddin, as always, just looking at the mid-wicket area. And he'll now feed the strike to Ganguly.
That's very sensible. Mohammad Azharuddin showing all the experience that he has by pushing the ball for a single and giving Sourav Ganguly, who's batting so well, the strike.
Safe, and they'll pick up a couple. Question of whether the Sri Lankans will in fact be penalised at all. They're already gone past their allotted time for their 50 overs, but there's been a number of lost balls in the River Tone. That should account for 7 or 8 minutes. Let's hope that they don't get hurt and penalised. Ganguly 175. And there's the record. He's gone past Kapil Dev.
Acknowledging the crowd, he knows that he's gone past that record. Highest score by an Indian in one-day cricket. Kapil Dev. That knock came under different circumstances. India were 5 wickets down for 17 then, when Kapil Dev came and played that unbelievable innings.
Edged 4. When it's your day, it is your day. Ganguly picks up his 17th boundary. Not his best.
It doesn't matter at this stage. They all count. Yes, this is not a shot that he would like to see in the highlights, but it's very effective. Can't keep a feel for that.
There was an outside chance that Ganguly could possibly go past Syed Anwar and be the highest scorer and be the world record holder. 194. Well bowled, beautifully bowled.
So there will be only 1 over after this ball. So Ganguly will have to really belt just about every ball of that last over to get past Syed Anwar, and maybe even try for a double 100.
Azharuddin will keep the strike on Fields. Just the one there, so 11 from the over. Another good one for India. 1 over to go, 363 for 5.